Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, whether you're tuning in on the radio dial here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM. We welcome you all back to our program, as well as joining us through our online affiliates around the world, as well as through our iHeart family. We're glad to have all of you with us as well. Stephen Kogon is making his first appearance on our program this year to talk to us not only about his journey as an actor, but also as a writer and director as well. He has a great project that's coming out I had a chance to see called Dance Baby Dance. We're going to let you guys know more about the story behind that. But as I was just saying to Stephen, I think this film is great for everyone because it's all about the importance of going after your goals and dreams in life and how sometimes we can get those reminders from an unexpected place. We'll talk to Stephen not only about the idea for the film, but also what he's excited about you all taking away from it. Stephen, hello to you and welcome to the program.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Stephen, the pleasure is definitely all mine. As I said, I enjoyed watching the film, and I know our audience, when they're going to be able to have the opportunity, I know they will as well. I know you're very excited because you not only are the star of this film, but also the writer and director as well. What has it been like for you, Stephen, to kind of see the anticipation for Dance Baby Dance?
It's all been new to me. Every experience with this film has been new to me, so it's exciting. You know, you're sitting around waiting to see how it's gonna all play out. So I'm just experiencing it as it goes.
Well, you know what? That's a great attitude to be able to have. Now, this is not your first time, of course, acting, not your first time being able, to write. I mean, have you always been a person, Stephen, who has known that he was meant to create, that you just wanted to create in whatever form you could?
I wrote my first story when I was 7 years old, and I more or less knew then that this is what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. I didn't know in what shape or form, but I knew I loved using my imagination. And so then when I was a little older, at 17, I wrote my first screenplay, and at that time it was the greatest experience of my life. And I just knew then that as soon as I was done, I lived in Maryland at the time and was going to college there. I knew as soon as I was done with college, I was moving out to Los Angeles to try to make this my life's goal and dream and everything.
Wow. And you've been able to do just that. And Stephen, I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine recently, and we were talking about how as children, it does not seem unusual at all that we could be a fireman, a policeman, as well as Superman, because anything seems possible when you're young. As you grow up and life happens to you and people tell you what you can and cannot do, or you begin to tell yourself what you can and cannot do, those dreams kind of fade. What is it that has kept you inspired, I guess would be the question, because it's very obvious to me as I was prepping for this segment that you are a person who's been able to not only, of course, to be able to have that idea, to have that passion for something, but to keep that passion. What do you think has helped you to be able to keep it?
I've always been really good at focusing on love of doing. So as I said, I've been passionate about storytelling and using my imagination since I was a little kid. And the idea is focusing on how much I love doing that, and that allows you to kind of block out any noise. You're going to face lots of rejections. There's going to be setbacks. There's going to be ups and downs. But if you truly love what you're doing, at least I believe, or that's how it's played out with me, you can kind of ride through that, fight through those walls, and just stay focused on how much you love doing this and keep at it until things happen for you.
For sure. And that is exactly what's been happening for you. Let's talk about the role of the Internet, especially social media for you, Stephen, as you have been able to especially get ready for the release of Dance Baby Dance. As I mentioned, you all are all over social media. We're going to be giving out the website a little bit later, have you do that for us. How has that helped you, especially as a storyteller, to be able to not only to be able to share your voice, but to be able to hear from other people as to how what you're doing is affecting them?
It's very exciting, social media. You get to hear from people, you have no idea who they are, and they, say such nice things and look forward to seeing it. And it's been a unique experience with social media for me because I'm not internet stupid, but I'm not real savvy either. The best thing I can operate technologically is a toaster. So the internet, it took me a little while to really, get used to how to properly use, hashtags and this and that and this and get used to, getting it out there. So there's one thing that you have to kind of watch out for is not become addicted to it, though. Every time you look at your phone, how many likes do you have? How many of this do you have? How many of that? And again, that can kind of take you away. It goes back to what I was saying about focus on love of doing. That's
right.
when I kind of remind myself, all right, I have to focus on writing. I have to focus on the things that I need to be doing. So there is that small downside, but for the most part, yeah, it's been enjoyable hearing from people around the country, around the world, who are looking forward to seeing the film.
Stephen, you bring up a really good point, and it wasn't until you just said that I thought about this is something that maybe our audience will benefit us talking about for a moment or two, and that is about the importance of being able to be happy with oneself and not look for that happiness, looking for that validation from somewhere else. How has that kind of helped you in what you were talking about earlier when it comes to focus? Because there are people who do have talent, but because they don't hear it from other people, they don't trust it enough. How has that focus that you mentioned helped you not to have to rely on outside influences telling you that you're good at what you're doing?
Oh, I think it's really just about everything, because you can't rely on other people. You just can't control what people think. Every single person who can formulate a thought on this planet has their own opinions, their own likes and dislikes. And you can't go knock on every door and say, hey, do you like me? And if not, why? You have to kind of generate it through your own self and say, this is what I like about me, and this is who I'm going to be, and this is what I love doing, and this is what I'm going to try to do. And people will give you advice, and if it's good advice, take it, listen. I wouldn't say don't listen to it, but listen. But if it doesn't work for you, then use the things that work for you, and the things that don't, don't kind of ignore them. So it has to be self-generated. You're the one driving your own car. No one else is going to do it for you at the end of the day. So it has to be you.
Exactly. Great advice and a great reminder for all of us. For those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're already having a great conversation today with Stephen Kogon. We're talking to Stephen not only about the journey to doing what he loves, but also what it's been like for him to share that with all of you. You guys are going to be able to see that in a very big way with his new project called Dance, Baby Dance. Stephen is not only the star of that, but also the writer and director. So talk to us about the idea, the seed for you, Stephen. Where did the idea for Dance, Baby Dance come from?
It's interesting how it came about, because I've always been a fan of the underdog kind of stories, the Rockies, Rudy's, Flashdance, 8 Mile, all these kinds of underdog films. I've always been huge fans of them. The tap dancing part came out of left field. I like to walk on the beach from time to time. It clears my head. It helps me use my imagination. I live out in Los Angeles, so luckily we have beaches nearby. Otherwise, if I lived in Iowa, that would be a little tougher to walk on the beach. But in Los Angeles, it's a lot more accessible. So what I would do is, from time to time, walk on the beach. And I was, at the time I started coming up with the story, I was listening to a lot of old school soul, like Stevie Wonder and Sam and Dave and Gladys Knight and the Pips and Jackson 5, and I just saw myself tap dancing to these songs. Even though I've never tap danced before in my life, I saw myself tap dancing, and it made me really happy. It made me smile, and I couldn't stop smiling. And the combination of that happiness and my love for underdog films, it was, kind of putting those two ingredients in a crock pot and coming out with a story.
Yeah. And I think the great thing is, a story that is something that people, I think of all backgrounds, of all ages, as we're able to even see in the film, and also through social media as well. Did you know going into this project, Stephen, that was going to be the case? And some of the great messages of the film come from not just your character, but the younger characters as well.
I maybe a little bit, but I try not to focus too much on that. I try to really immerse myself in the actual story and let the story kind of tell itself. And if any individuals out there take something from that, then that's a benefit. But I can't say that I sit down and say I want to get a certain message across in any kind of way. It's really, I just let the story tell itself, and if I like the story at the end of the day, then I go with it.
Got you. Well, along with the story, of course, we mentioned that you being, of course, the focal point of this, having this, your character having this long standing goal that he wanted to be able to reach, and being able to find the courage to go for that. What was it like for you to work with this talented cast? Because it's one thing to have this idea and to write this, but what was it like for you to have individuals who by their acting showed that they were just as invested in this as you were?
Oh, it was amazing working with our cast. In the independent filmmaking, you don't always have the luxury of time for rehearsing and for anything like that. So you kind of have to hope and pray for that they're professionals and will show up on set and can, snap their fingers and be in character already. And that was really how much it played out. We got a little bit of rehearsal time, on the sets, camera rehearsals and little things like that. But for the most part, not a lot of rehearsals, so they were just on top of it. Every time, action, they're just writing character, bam. And so as a director, you sit back and say, thank goodness, I don't have to, insert myself in any kind of way that would be off-putting to them. I just, they take it from there and elevate it, and that was one of the beautiful experiences of working with them and making the film.
Yeah. Well, I think, again, that's one of the things that people will be able to see. We're going to let our audience know here in a bit how they can be able to see the film, Stephen, as well, of course, to be able to join in the conversation about it. I love the fact, and I keep going back to social media, but one of the things that I noticed when I was prepping for this, especially with Facebook, how you're able to not only to kind of give us the marriage of updates about the film, Stephen, but also some great flashbacks of different individuals tap dancing. I mean, what was it like for you to kind of pull these examples and to share them on Facebook?
One of the benefits of the film is I genuinely fell in love with tap dancing. Like I said before, I'd never done it before in my life, and I had to train for the film. So it took about 2 years from concept to before we started filming. So in that 2-year time period, I was able to learn as best I could how to tap dance. And in that process, you kind of learn about all the others in the tap dance world, and learning that it's so much more prevalent. There's so many more tap dancers in the world than I originally realized. And then you get into the history, and what you talked about with the flashbacks is going back how many amazing tap dancers there have been throughout history, that people, many of them know the Gene Kellys and the Fred Astaire's, but do they know the Nicholas brothers, who are just brilliant in the early days of film, and Bill Robinson, who did, with Shirley Temple, and then you have Jimmy Slide, and you have all these such amazing, we're standing on their shoulders. They're the ones who brought this art form to us. And so I feel, I don't know if I want to use the word obligation, because it's more of a privilege for me to try to give back and let people know how great I think tap dancing is, how much I believe people would love watching it, and if they go out in their own lives and take classes, how much they would love doing it. And it's great cardio. So, yeah, I try to, as often as possible, not only do flashbacks, but we have Saturday for sharing. I try to find people who have interesting things tap dancing-wise on their Facebook or social media pages that we can share. And I have a Taptastic Tuesday, where we also share really, really good tap dancing videos. So I love giving back that way, and hopefully I can continue to do that.
Yeah. On December the 5th, 2017, Stephen, on the Facebook page, that's when you made this announcement, hey, all, my film, Dance Baby Dance, is finally done. And I'm so excited to say we're going to be getting a week-long LA release sometime in early 2018. Of course, that's coming up. We're going to let our audience know about that, and then spread out to select theaters. What was it like for you to be able to have the project done, Stephen, and to write that announcement and to share it with the world, that this project, that this labor of love that you had worked on so hard, that it was done and was going to get such a big release at the beginning?
I imagine it's similar to somebody who ran a marathon for the first time, a really big marathon, and crossed the finish line, because this really was a long journey. It wasn't, just a short, hey, make a movie, quick, bang, bang. No, it took a few years, and so to finally reach that finish line and be able to say, hey, we're done. You're going to get to watch us. We're going to be, in Los Angeles. We're going to try to reach out around the country. We're coming out on Amazon Video on Demand on the 19th, this Friday. So people everywhere, anywhere in the world can see it. So yeah, it's just very exciting and very satisfying that you can finally sit back and say, it's done and people can see it.
Yeah, and Amazon being one of our partners, we'll make sure that we are sharing that continually with our audience here. Stephen, again, everyone, Stephen, we're talking to him not only about the film Dance Baby Dance, but also what it's been like for him to do what he loves as an actor, as well as a writer and director for this project, Dance Baby Dance. The other thing is that I thought was so great is that on the Facebook page for Dance Baby Dance, there's great sayings that you're able to share. One of them, I think, that really struck me was about the importance of reaching for what you want. I mean, it's not enough to say what you want. You definitely have to be able to put in the work. For individuals that you're able to talk to, Stephen, about this journey of acting and being a creative, is that one of the things that you hope they realize, that that this is attainable, but you have to be willing to work for it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think individuals can be blessed with as much talent as they want in the world, but that doesn't really necessarily guarantee anything. You have to work for it. You have to really, go out and put in the effort. And I think I'm prouder of that my work ethic on this film and how much I put into it. I gave it my all, and that's all I can really ask of myself. But I'm prouder of that because that isn't something that was, I've been blessed with. That was a choice. And for everyone else out there, I talk to a lot of people, and some people overthink things and they talk themselves out of things. And, I don't want to be pushy and say, no, don't do that. I try to be a little more subtle. But I hope they can just learn from my experience that if I was able to do something like this, there's nothing that special about me. If I'm able to do this, then I think anyone can take whatever talents they have and apply, good work ethic and effort and really, day by day put in the work and get things done.
Right. I think that is so true. So we definitely want our audience to be able to stay connected with the film, as well as, depending on how you're listening to us, be able to go and see it in person if you can. So, Stephen, let our audience know, where can they go to be able to find all the information and to stay connected with Dance Baby Dance?
The best place to go is probably our website, dancebabydancemovie.com, because there we have all of the social media buttons if they want to go to Facebook, the Facebook page, the Instagram page, the Twitter page, the Tumblr page, all of those, our YouTube page. So that's the best place. We also have an area where people can pledge to see the film. And what we're trying to do with that is we do want to reach out to the rest of the country, and we'll probably do it like this, where our video on demand Amazon numbers, and we'll be out on other platforms in a few months as well. We'll spread those out. But where we're seeing where there's pockets of interest around the country, what we'd like to try to do is go out into the country at that point and not only screen the film there, but put on live dancing afterwards so that we can get the local dance involved, to get dance studios involved, maybe get local press involved, get them exposure for their dance studios, maybe help them recruit new students, and just give them an overall memorable experience. Because I've always felt this film really was kind of a shared audience kind of film. Dancing, it gives you such a good feeling when you're in the audience watching it with others. And so it will be on video on demand, as I said, through Amazon right now. But if people, there are pockets of places in the country that are seeing it and excited about it, reach out to us through our website. Let us know where you live, your zip code, and we'll start looking into if we can arrange screenings in your town and city. And like I said, apply the live dancing afterwards.
Wow, what a cool thing. So dancebabydancemovie.com is that website. Take advantage of being able to follow the film. Definitely, Stephen, what a great thing. I'm so excited for you, excited for the cast, but also I think I left the film feeling so inspired because, anything that is worth having, and we hear this all the time, is definitely worth doing the work. And we're able to see your character, Jimmy, being able to do just that. And now, of course, to be able to see you doing, that as well in what you're being able to do and the many hats that you're wearing. But I think it really shows us all, again, regardless of age, location, or how you may see yourself, the importance of working for what you want, because you never know what will happen. I mentioned that saying that was on your Facebook page. It was posted on December the 11th for your Motivational Monday last year. And the saying simply said, sometimes you have to reach higher for what you want. And it's a great example there of an individual reaching towards the shoes that are up, that are tied at the top. And, again, that's the thing. I mean, our goals and dreams are right there, but we have to be willing to reach for them. So congratulations to you, Stephen. Again, everyone, Stephen Kogon has been our guest. And looking forward to having you back on the program again, Stephen.
Oh, I'd love to be back. Thank you so much for having me.
The pleasure is definitely all mine. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. If you all came in late and missed part of the conversation with Stephen, don't worry. Thanks to our online friends, you all can catch the replay right after we go off the air. The link is already available through our social media sites. So head over to Facebook.com/Cyrus Webb or go to Twitter.com/Cyrus Webb. If you click on the link there, you can listen to the show completely for free and share it with your friends from there too. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live today. You all make it a great one.